Okay, so it's done. This is my custom Joker head sculpt. I've been working on it for a few days. Was heavily pushed by receiving Cosy 80's Monkey Robot Masters head sculpt. This is nowhere near as good as that. Hold my hands up to that. I mean, but then again, this is my first attempt at doing a Joker head, so I think I did okay. He's looking pretty cool. I actually spent about 4 days putting hair on this head, and kind of knew the whole time that I was using the wrong hair. It was a bit too coarse, too thick. It couldn't be manipulated even with gel. It still kind of just did what it wanted to do. So I got pissed off and just started ripping it all off, tearing it all off, and it was hard to do that as well because it was super glued on his head. But I knew it wasn't right, and but it was the only hair I had. So what I actually did was, and if TestJess1 is watching this, I hope he doesn't get angry with me, Kevin, if you're seeing this. The only thing I could do was trim some of the hair off the werewolf that TestJess1 made and sent to me, because it was covered in that kind of yak's hair, which is, I think it's kind of what Monkey Robot Master was using for his heads. It might not be yak's hair, but it's that kind of really thin, has a kind of twisted curl to it. And it's so thin that you can kind of manipulate it, and especially if you put gel or something in it, you can get it to do whatever you want it to do. So I basically, without destroying the figure that Kevin sent me, it still looks pretty much the same, but I did manage to cut enough hair. This is all hair from Kevin's figure, basically, the werewolf, from like under the armpits and on his back, and the back of his neck had some extra hair on there that I was able to remove. So the so the hair that I used was yak's hair, or I think that's what Kevin used on the werewolf that he sent me. So that's what I used in the end. I used acrylic paint for his face. Now I know you're not supposed to use acrylic paint on these figures, that's the last thing you want to use. But that's all I had, and I'm impatient and I couldn't wait to, you know, find an art shop. There isn't any art shops where I live. I know where there is one, but it's not exactly close by, and as I say, I'm very impatient. I want this done, so I used acrylic paint for the white paint, the black paint on the eyes, the red paint on his mouth, and for the hair on his head, all acrylic paint. I've used the DX11 shirt, tie, vest, jacket and coat, but I have used the DX01 trousers, because the DX11 trousers are kind of, as we'd say in England, ankle swingers. They're sort of a little bit high, so I've used the DX01 trousers because they're a little bit baggier. Not baggier, they're a little bit longer, and they don't look quite as funky. So, and I also have chosen to use the silver chain, because I know like Curtis and some other dudes have said that it is gold, but I've got a lot of screenshots saved on hard drives just for references and stuff, and there are some scenes where it's silver, the chain, and there's some scenes where it's gold, and I just like the way the silver looks with the purple, so I've gone for the silver. And yeah, so that's about it. I mean, as I say, the hair took a long time to do, and then I ripped it all off and started again. And when I actually started using the yak's hair, it was a lot more easy to work with, and I actually did this complete hair today, in 1 day, compared to 4 days with the other hair, which I guess was good practice. And I redid it today with the yak's hair, and it took literally just a few hours to do. I am happy with it, not 100% happy. It could be better, it could be worse. For a first attempt at a Joker head, I think I've done very well. I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back. That's for me. And I don't know if I'll attempt this again in the future. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully Hot Toys will just make one with hair, and then we won't have to do this kind of stuff, although it is fun to do it. And now I have ended up with a very unique Joker, in that it's, you know, all these custom Jokers are slightly different, and now I've done one, and I don't think, for better or worse, anyone else will have one exactly like this. So it is kind of cool to do your own Joker head, because you will kind of end up with your very own kind of unique moment that may or may not have existed in the film. But as I say, this does kind of remind me a little bit of the end of the movie, and a little bit of the Hit Me scene, just the way it's kind of really nasty looking and scraggly looking hair. But yeah, could be worse, could be better. Let's see if we can zoom in. Yep, I am digging this. It's very cool. Well done me, seriously. I mean, I'm not a customizer, but look what I done did. Shit. Alright, quick little pan around, just so you can see there's nothing to hide here, folks. His hair is cut kind of straight there. Might need to mess that up a little bit, make it kind of different lengths. But you can see no bald patches, or still got the blonde coming through. There's still blonde and green mixed together. I love this angle right there. That's a great angle, and this angle. It looks cool. I'm happy. I'm liking it more and more as the minutes pass. I was very unsure of myself when I first put it down on the stand, and it was so, you know, supposedly finished. But I went back and I trimmed the hair a bit more and tweaked the makeup a little bit. Added the kind of lines around the black of his eyes to kind of get that running paint look. Lift his head up. I did, usually I would use this stuff, like gloss varnish, to give a kind of appearance of sweat, but this is kind of gross. Over time this is just congealed into kind of a solid, weird thing. It's no longer usable, it doesn't even move anymore, it's solid. So I actually used the Rick technique, and I sprayed him with hairspray, just a little blast of hairspray on the face and on his hair as well, to give it a bit more of a wet look. I've been using firm gel, that firm hold gel, like in the 80s when you used to have just those big tubs of pink or blue or green hair gel, and it was really kind of wet looking and you know, spiky hair kind of thing. I used that on his hair about 3 different times to keep it looking wet and nasty. He still might need a bit of a trim. It might still be a bit long, but he's looking good. Let's get his head up a little bit. But yeah, this is the Cop Joker head sculpt that you get with the DX01. The Cop Joker head has the hair tied back very tight. It's not green, it's kind of like a dark brown, and he doesn't have any of the Joker makeup on. So that was interesting to do that and see how that head sculpt would look with makeup. Obviously there's different sort of versions of the makeup you can do. You can do that kind of interrogation scene where it's all messy. You can do the mob meeting scene where it's kind of freshly applied and he's trying to look his best. And I just went for a kind of sweaty, nasty kind of... when his head's down, you can kind of maybe imagine the hit me scene. We'll see how that goes. I think he looks best when his head's down a little bit. But that's it. I'm not too sure what else to say about this. Other than I am very pleased with it.